An undercover CEO visits his own dealership, but when he hears an elderly couple crying, he can't stay silent. What happens next will shock you. Ethan Reynolds was the CEO of Reynolds Automotive Group, a nationwide car dealership empire headquartered in Phoenix, USA. The company had grown from a small lot to one of the largest automotive networks in the country. Known for fair pricing and ethical business practices, Reynolds Automotive was built on trust and transparency. Ethan was personally involved in all aspects of the business, ensuring every customer received honest, reliable service. But as his empire grew, so did the challenges. The demands of overseeing multiple dealerships across the country put him at a distance from the day-to-day operations. He trusted his managers, but reports from customers and his own employees had started to raise troubling questions. Customers complained about hidden fees, aggressive sales tactics, and lowball trade-in offers. The trust that had built his empire was starting to erode. So today, under the harsh fluorescent lights of his Phoenix dealership, he wasn't the CEO. He was just a customer, walking into what he feared had become a broken system. As he stepped inside, the showroom hit him like a cold wave. The warmth and hospitality he had built his company on were gone. It felt more like a battle zone, where salesmen pounced on customers the second they walked through the door. There was a sharp shift in the air. Something had changed, but he couldn't yet put his finger on it. His eyes scanned the room, watching the salespeople with their practiced smiles and slick words as they maneuvered around customers, pushing hard for a deal. The showroom, once a place of trust, now felt like a high-stakes game where the customers were the ones losing. Ethan's eyes locked onto an elderly couple sitting at a sales desk, Henry and Martha. Their faces were drawn with worry, their hands tightly clasped. Todd, one of the salesmen, sat across from them, feigning sympathy as he pushed papers in front of them. Todd was well known at the dealership. He was one of the top sellers, not because he was good at helping customers, but because he knew how to manipulate them. He was a master at reading weaknesses, fear, uncertainty, desperation, and using them to his advantage. Ethan had seen his type before, but never in his own company. Henry, hesitant. That's much lower than we expected for our son's car. His voice wavers. We thought we'd get more for it. Ethan, whispering to himself. Their son. This isn't just a sale for them. Martha's grip on Henry's hand tightened. Her lower lip trembled. Martha, teary-eyed. Henry, I don't feel right about this, she whispers, her voice barely holding together. Not his car. Not like this. Todd sighed, plastering on a fake, patient smile as he tapped the paper with his pen. Todd, smiling coldly. I get it, ma'am. Lots of memories in that car. But the market's tough. This is the best I can do. Henry swallowed hard, his fingers curling slightly as they rested on the contract. Henry, glancing at the contract, still unsure. But we checked online. Some places are offering double this amount for the same model. This can't be right. Todd leaned in, his voice dropping, as if he were sharing some grand secret. Todd, condescending. Those online prices? They don't account for real market conditions. And the financing? Because of your age and fixed income, the bank sees you as high risk. Believe me, this is the best deal you're going to get. Martha suddenly let out a shaky breath, and her eyes brimmed with tears. Her hands trembled as she clutched Henry's arm. Martha, breaking down. This was his car, Henry. His last car, the one he drove before he left for his deployment. Her voice cracked as a tear slid down her cheek. And now we're just giving it away like it meant nothing? Henry's shoulders stiffened. He blinked rapidly, his own emotions threatening to spill over. Henry, his voice breaking. I don't know what else to do. I'm scared, Martha. Todd's smile faltered for just a second before he sighed dramatically and leaned back. His patience was running thin, and now he was dropping the act. Todd, aggressive, impatient. Look, I'm just being straight with you. You won't get approved anywhere else. This is your only chance. You leave now, and I can't guarantee this deal will still be on the table tomorrow. Martha let out a quiet sob, covering her mouth with her hand. Ethan's fist clenched, his jaw tightened, his pulse pounded in his ears. Ethan, under his breath, angry. This is wrong. His blood boiled as he watched Todd pressure them, exploiting their grief, turning their son's memory into a sales tactic. This wasn't just bad business. This was cruelty, and Ethan had seen enough. Then another voice cuts through the tension. Luis, a younger salesman, stands nearby. Unlike the others, he doesn't carry the same predatory air. His calm demeanor is in stark contrast to Todd's pushiness. He looks at Henry and Martha, then takes a step closer, his voice steady but kind. Luis, gently but firmly. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, have you considered outside financing? A credit union or your personal bank might offer you a much lower rate. Todd's face changes instantly. The friendly salesman mask slips, revealing something colder beneath. He turns sharply, his eyes narrowing. Todd, snarling, voice dripping with venom. Luis, a word now! The room grows tense. The other salespeople exchange uneasy glances, but no one dares to interfere. Luis hesitates, then nods, following Todd into the hallway. Ethan, unable to let this go, follows quietly, keeping to the shadows. The second they're out of earshot from customers, Todd whirls around, his face red with anger. Todd, grabbing Luis by the arm, his voice low but furious. What the hell do you think you're doing? Luis jerks his arm free, standing his ground. Luis, calm but resolute. I'm helping them, Todd. Something you should have been doing from the start. Todd lets out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. Todd, mocking, voice dripping with sarcasm. You're helping them? You're ruining the deal. Do you even understand how this works? We don't give them options. We corner them. We close them. That's how you make money in this business. Luis doesn't flinch. His eyes remain locked onto Todd's. Luis, firm, unwavering. Tricking people into bad deals isn't business, Todd. It's theft. Todd's jaw tightens, his hands clenching into fists. His voice drops to a dangerous whisper. Todd, leaning in, threatening. Listen, kid, you want a future here? You play by the rules. You don't? You're out. Ethan has heard enough. He steps forward from the shadows, his voice cutting through the thick tension like a knife. Ethan, cold, commanding. Todd's right about one thing. Todd turns and the color drains from his face as he recognizes him. The arrogant smirk vanishes in an instant. The hallway, once filled with Todd's intimidation, now feels suffocatingly silent. Ethan, pausing, letting the weight of the moment sink in. If you can't sell with honesty, you don't belong here. A heavy silence hangs in the air. The hum of distant voices from the showroom feels like background noise, fading under the gravity of Ethan's words. Todd's mouth opens, then closes. He stammers, scrambling for words. Todd laughs nervously, trying to recover. Mr. Reynolds, sir, you don't understand. This is just how the business works. It's strategy. Ethan's eyes narrow. Ethan, low, dangerous. No, it's greed. Luis steps back slightly, sensing the shift in power. A few other employees have stopped in the distance, pretending to be busy but clearly eavesdropping. Todd scoffs, his confidence starting to return as he straightens his posture. Todd, smirking, shaking his head. You fire me? Fine. But let's not pretend you don't know how things work. You think I'm the only one? This is how your dealership makes money. How all dealerships make money. You fire me, nothing changes. Ethan takes a slow step forward, his presence towering over Todd. Ethan, quiet but firm. You're wrong. It changes today. Todd clenches his jaw, his hands balling into fists. Todd, spitting the words out. Big mistake, Reynolds. You need guys like me. You really think you can keep this place running with Boy Scouts like him? Gesturing toward Luis. Luis doesn't look away, holding his ground. Ethan remains unfazed. Ethan, deadpan. I'd rather shut this place down than let another customer be scammed. Todd's bravado finally cracks. His face twists in frustration, but he knows he's lost. He lets out a sharp breath and straightens his tie. Todd, gritting his teeth, voice low. Suit yourself. I'll be gone in 10 minutes. He storms past Ethan, shoving his way back into the showroom. A few salespeople quickly turn away, pretending to work. The tension in the hallway lingers. Luis exhales slowly, glancing at Ethan. If you're enjoying this story and want to hear more about how leaders make a difference, subscribe to Undercover Files for new stories every week. Trust us, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Luis, carefully. That was intense. Ethan finally looks at him. Ethan, nodding slightly. You did the right thing back there. Luis looks unsure. Luis, hesitant. I hope so, but Todd was right about one thing. There are more like him. Ethan's jaw tightens. He glances back at the showroom where Todd is angrily gathering his things. Ethan, determined, voice steady. Then we change that, one step at a time. The tension slowly fades, but the weight of what's just happened lingers in the air. Ethan knows this is just the beginning. Ethan, turning to the staff, his voice hard as steel. I went undercover to see the truth, and what I saw, it's disgusting. You've been forcing people into bad deals, lying about interest rates, undervaluing trade-ins. That ends now. The staff stands motionless. Some look ashamed. Others stare defiantly, unwilling to accept the truth. Ethan, softer but resolute. I built this company on trust. If that means fewer sales, so be it. But if you can't sell with honesty, you don't belong here. The next day, Ethan stands at the front of the dealership's conference room, facing his employees. Some look nervous, others skeptical, but Luis stands near the back, watching intently. Ethan, addressing the room, voice firm but steady. We're not here just to make a sale. We're here to help people, and that means offering them real solutions, not pushing them into deals that hurt them. We're going to start putting customers first again. If you can't get on board with that, I'll find someone who will. A heavy silence lingers. Some employees exchange glances, while others straighten in their chairs. Ethan, continuing. I've brought in financial advisors to train you on ethical financing. We're going to be upfront with our customers. No more hidden fees, no more deceptive loan terms, and one more thing. He pauses, scanning the room. Ethan, cold, unwavering. We're making this right. Every single customer who was scammed under Todd's leadership will be refunded every unnecessary charge, every unfair markup, and I will personally be the one making those calls. A murmur spreads through the room. Some employees look surprised, others impressed. Luis crosses his arms, nodding slightly. For the next several days, Ethan locks himself in his office, going through mountains of paperwork, identifying every customer who was wronged. One by one, he picks up the phone and dials. Ethan, on the phone, voice sincere. Mrs. Carter, this is Ethan Reynolds, the owner of Reynolds Auto. I'm calling to personally apologize for the way you were treated at our dealership. I've reviewed your contract, and I see you were overcharged on your financing. We're issuing you a full refund for the extra fees, and I want to assure you this will never happen again. On the other end, a stunned silence. Then, Mrs. Carter, shaky voice, emotional. I don't know what to say. No business has ever done this for me before. Ethan, gently. Then it's about time one did. Call after call, the reactions are the same. Shock, gratitude, even tears. Some customers were on the verge of losing their homes due to predatory interest rates. Others had been struggling to make payments they were misled into accepting. One customer, an elderly veteran, breaks down in tears. Veteran, choked up. I fought for this country and I thought I'd been taken advantage of. But you're different. Ethan, softly yet firmly. No, sir, I'm just making things right. Luis watches from the doorway as Ethan works tirelessly, refunding tens of thousands of dollars. Luis, after Ethan hangs up another call, smiling slightly, you're really doing it. Ethan, nodding, leaning back in his chair. I don't care how much it costs. People trusted us. We're going to earn that trust back. 1 week later. The threat. Ethan sits at his desk, exhaustion settling in, when a letter arrives. No return address. He rips it open, his expression darkening as he reads the short, ominous message inside. Note: stop ruining the market, Reynolds. This isn't how the industry works. Luis, standing nearby, leans over and reads it too. His face tightens. Luis, Low voice, serious. That's a threat. Ethan lets out a slow breath, then smirks. Ethan, calm but firm. Damn right it is, and that means we're doing something right. The battle isn't over, but Ethan isn't backing down. Instead of backing down, Ethan leans in. He doesn't just fix the problem, he turns it into a movement. The next morning, Ethan gathers his team once again, his presence electric with determination. He holds up the threatening note for all to see. Ethan, voice steady, defiant. This is what fear looks like. The industry doesn't want us to be honest. They want us to keep playing their game, but we're not playing anymore. He slaps the note down onto the table, his eyes scanning his employees. Ethan, louder, filled with conviction. So, we're starting a campaign. Today, right now, we're calling it Honest Deals, No Lies. Some employees glance at each other, confused. Others lean in, intrigued. Ethan, continuing, his voice gaining momentum. We're going to put everything out in the open. No more hidden fees, no more shady financing. We'll post the real cost of every car online with a breakdown of pricing. Customers will know exactly what they're paying for and why. Luis grins from the back of the room, already pulling out his phone to record. Luis, whispering, amused. Oh, they're gonna hate this. Ethan's video goes viral. Ethan on camera. For too long, dealerships have preyed on customers. That ends now. At Reynolds Auto, we're bringing honesty back. The internet erupts. Finally, a dealership that actually cares. This guy is changing the game. Customers share their stories. Reynolds Auto refunded me $2,300. Unbelievable. No pressure, no lies, just real deals. This is how it should be. 2.5 million views. Other dealerships panic, scrambling to copy, but their reputations are already tarnished. Then, the real backlash begins. A year passes. Reynolds Auto has become the dealership of choice in Phoenix. Customers trust them. Sales have doubled. Ethan walks into the showroom, watching as a young family drives off in a brand new car, smiling ear to ear. Behind him, Luis, now the new general manager, is training a new recruit. Luis, serious yet proud. We don't sell cars here. We help people. That's how we do things at Reynolds Auto. Ethan listens for a moment, then smiles to himself. Ethan, softly to himself. We didn't just sell cars, we restored trust, and that's worth more than any sale.